Hey everybody, it's Sakar, and today I want to do a simple PvE build that all of you PvPers and newer players can put together to put you through a lot of endgame content. And like I said, it is really simple to put together. So I think that this build is perfect if you're looking for something that's easy to use, but still super strong. So I wanted to do that for all the PvPers, new people in the game. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to be a Khajiit Arcanist. Khajiit is best in slot for PvE because of the overall crit passive that you get, so that's amazing. Arcanist is great for your overall beam damage because Arcanist beam is disgustingly strong. Our attributes, I don't know why I have 6 points into health, but I must have accidentally done that. Put all of your points into stamina. That is the best way to go about it. That way you can get all of the maximum stam as possible. And then also I have Lava Foot as our food. You can see Lava Foot is, for those of you guys that don't know, Lava Foot, I know that my webcam is slightly blocking this, but it's fine. It increases your max stam by 5,000 basically, then increases your stamina recovery by almost 500 as well. So it's pretty good. It's, in my opinion, the best in slot for overall stam DPS, and I really like it because it kind of keeps your sustain up as high as possible. And then also, I'm using tripods. I don't know if that's best in slot or not, but I don't know. It's just keeping me alive and keep my sustain high. Shadow Mundus, because our crit percentage is already through the roof as it is, so I don't really feel like we need any more crit percentage than we already do, so we increase our crit damage, so we have Shadow Mundus for that. So let's look at our sets. We got One Piece Slime Crawl because that's going to increase our overall critical percentage as well. In Divine's Light, I wanted one piece of light on there. That way we could overall increase our overall passes for that. So I wanted that on there. Also, everything's going to be having a max stamina enchant too. So use max stamina enchants. And then our other set is going to be Order's Wrath on the body. This is going to be phenomenal for your overall damage because it's going to give you a bunch of crit percentage, a little bit of weapon and spell damage, and then the 5-piece is increases your critical damage and critical healing by 8%. So as you can see, that is a lot of extra damage right there. Also, we have Tideborn as our other set. Tideborn is another crafted set. Thank you to, oh my god, I'm so bad with names. Thank you to whoever came over and said that in my chat. I forgot who it was. I love you though. I appreciate you. Somebody said this on my last video to use to try out Tideborn, and I really do like it. I'm so bad with names. I'm so sorry, but whoever you are, you know who you are. Thank you so much. I love you. What it does is increases your weapon spell damage, increases your critical chance, increases your offensive penetration, and the 5-piece is increases your direct damage done to monsters by 12%. So again, those percentages increased is phenomenal for your overall damage. So looking at everything, we're using Tideborn and Order's Wrath. We're going to be going down the list to show you everything. Everything will be in the Divine's trait because Divines increases your overall Mundus Stone. And so I'm just going to go over this. Everything's going to be medium besides the Slime Craw helmet. So medium Order's Wrath shoulders, medium Order's Wrath chest piece, medium Tideborn hands, medium Order's Wrath waist, medium Tideborn legs, and medium Tideborn feet. Again, it doesn't matter because they're both crafted. It doesn't matter where you put them. I just happen to have Daggers of Order's Wrath already. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use this. I already had all this Order's Wrath stuff gold. So that's why I made the Tideborn stuff because then I just built it around that. So that's why I have that. Also, we're using Oakensoul in here because, again, I wanted an easy, simple build to put together. And Oakensoul is as simple as it gets because this game is very play how you want to play. Oakensoul gives you so many buffs. It's going to be Bloodthirsty, by the way. Bloodthirsty is the best way to go for PvE because it increases your weapon and spell damage by up to 90%. I'm sorry, by up to 350 by enemies that are under 90%. Apologize, bad with words today. And we're also using the weapon and spell damage enchantment too. So Oakensoul, for those of you guys that don't know, while equipped, you are unable to swap bars. So you have one bar, but you get a bunch of buffs, such as Minor Berserk, Minor Courage, Major Brutality, Major Sorcery, Major Prophecy, Major Savagery, Minor Force, Minor Protection, Major Resolve, Minor Mending, Minor Fortitude, Minor Intellect, Minor Endurance, Minor Heroism, Minor Slayer, and Minor Aegis and Empower. So we're using all that stuff. That way, you know, it's great buffs. There's so many buffs on there. And we are doubling up on a few buffs, but it's mostly because I don't really have the buffs to put in other places. I'll explain in a little bit. It's mostly going to be when we get to our banner and stuff. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Then our other pieces of jewelry are Tideborn. Both are going to be Bloodthirsty with weapon and spell damage enchantments on it. And then our front bar is going to be Daggers of Order's Wrath, like I said before. Main hand is going to be Nirnhone with a shock damage enchantment on it. Offhand will be Precise with a flame damage enchantment on it. So let's just move on to our skills at this point. I'm just going to completely ignore the back bar because we're not really using it anyway, so we don't need it. So our main spammable is going to be Pragmatic Fake Carver. You want to make sure you have 3 Cruxes on this because it's going to be beam damage that's done over 4 seconds, so it's great damage. And then the damage procs every 0.3 seconds, so trust me guys, this damage gets super high. But if you can increase that damage, you can, and it'll be a lot better. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you have Cruxes, because for each Crux you have, it increases the damage done by 33%. So increase the damage overall by about 100% because it's 99%. So you basically double your damage if you have 3 Cruxes active. And the way you activate a Crux and the way you get a Crux and gain a Crux is from our Cephaliarch's Flail, but I'll get to that in a second, don't worry. So one at a time, we're going to be doing Shocking Banner as well. I have the scripts of the increased damage done, increased direct damage done. Also, I have the class script on here. So create a Crux if you have none, generates 3 ultimate if you already have a Crux though, and this effect can occur once every 5 seconds as well. So this is a great way to overall maximize your damage, because if you're parsing or doing something like that, you're only going to need to hit Cephaliarch's Flail twice instead of the 3 times, because this will produce a Crux. So it's overall a great way to just increase your beam damage and increase the time that you are beaming. So that's the best way to maximize your damage. Then we have Shocking. Oh, wait. And then I also have Minor Heroism on here, which is kind of a double up. Because of Oakensoul, I just didn't know what else to put on here because all of the other buffs just feel redundant. I had other buffs such as Minor Force on there, Minor Berserk, but that's all stuff that I can get from Oakensoul. So I didn't know what else to put on there, to be honest. So if you find a buff that you can get that isn't on Oakensoul or anything, go ahead, put it on there. It doesn't really matter. And then we have Shocking Contingency as our other scribing skill. What it does is it does a little bit of shock damage, which is awesome. Then we have a little bit of a shock dot as well. And then I have Minor Vulnerability on here for 20 seconds, increases damage taken by 5%. So that is not a double up on Oakensoul, so I really like that one. And that's why I went with that, because every other buff, like I said, felt like a double up when I was using Oakensoul. And you want to get as many unique buffs out there as possible. That way you can just increase your overall damage. And then we have Cephaliarch's Flail. This is going to be a little bit of burst damage, but every time you cast it while in combat, you're going to be getting Cruxes. So if you have 3 Cruxes, do that beam damage. Cephaliarch's Flail is there so that you can get a bunch of beam damage. Basically, is that. And then I have Relentless Focus as well. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why this is on here. I didn't know what else to put on here because it's mostly a beam build. And yeah, if you have a better slot for this ability, please let me know. This is just good damage, I guess, if you're not parsing. If you just want to hit a quick bow proc out there and like one-shot people. But I wouldn't really know what else to put on there. I don't know. If you guys have better opinions, let me know. The reason why I have that on there, though, is for the assassination passive. Where is it? That's honestly, I'm going to get to it in a second. I'll show you. So I have this on here for the assassination passives. And then I have Crescent Sweep on here for the Adrix Spear passives. Crescent Sweep is good. It's cheap. It's a great form of consistent ultimate. It's not the best ultimate, in my opinion, for PvE, but it's really strong. So let me show you guys. So for Adrix Spear, a lot of these passives are really good. By having an Adrix Spear ability slotted, increases my critical damage on by 12%. So my Crescent Sweep is slotted, so that's why I have that there. Also, gain Minor Berserk, I mean, that's doubling up as well. Also, having Burning Light active at all times, that is a great source of damage too. Also, increase your weapon and spell damage by 6% as well. Like, these passives are really good, and that's why I have Crescent Sweep slotted, because of that. Assassination, same thing, more or less. Increases your critical damage against enemies that are flanking by, 1448. So that's good. Also increase your chance to critically strike by 6.6%. So, I mean, that's same thing. Yeah. Anyways. They also increase your critical chance by 2.5% more or less per ability. So that's good. Also increase your critical damage by 10%. So that's why we have that on here, because these are great forms of extra crit damage. And to me, it just stacks, and that's why we use it. It's too good not to use, in my opinion. So that's why I have all that on there. Also, looking at our champion points, we are going to be using for our blue slottables, Fighting Finesse, Biting Aura, Untamed Aggression, and Mastered Arms. And then for our red tree, doesn't really matter too much, but we have Bloody Renewal, Thrill of the Hunt, Celerity, and Boundless Vitality. And then green tree, not really too important. Like nothing in there is like really make or break. Just, you know, all the normal stuff. I don't really, green tree is really nothing great for this game, but, or for damage, but you know, it is what it is, just the usuals. And that's really the entire build, more or less. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to parse with this real quick. I'm not even going to speak, honestly, during this. I'm just going to put some music over this. I'm going to turn off my webcam so that you guys aren't going to see me go blah, 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 the entire time. And I'll show you how to parse with this real quick. It's nothing too fancy, honestly. It's honestly pretty simple. It's just crux, beam. Then you want to have your contingency going out and all that stuff. And then just, I make sure that everything is out there at all times, more or less. And then that's kind of the best way to keep the damage up. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, do me that giant favor, hit that like button for me. I'd highly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next video. Later. And as you can see real quick, 78,000 as our parse tip. It's not bad. I think it's pretty good. I don't really parse that often, so I feel like if I really wanted to get like an end game build, I think it'd be better. And if I do this more often, I think it'd be better. So I'm pretty happy with how that goes. 78,000 is pretty good. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.